It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and this is news that you can use from CarEdge with your hosts, Ray and Zach, for, Monday, June 12th. And sitting next to me is a survivor of the 7.3
Nope.
Ironman. What do you mean? Nope.
7.3?
Oh, 70.3. 70.3 miles. 1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike ride, and then a 13.1 mile walk. I mean, run.
Yay! How's it going, Dad? All right, here's the deal, gang. I am recovering. That being said, we're going to kick things off with Ford, Toyota, and Mercedes-Benz. We have new data from Kelley Blue Book.
Yes.
Look at what we're about to run through, Dad. Well, look at what we are going to run through, I guess is what I mean to say.
Yes. And the funny thing is that I'm seeing it for the
this
first time.
This is the first time. Yeah. This is the first time you're seeing this.
Yeah.
Everyone look above our heads, right? Over on the left. Yeah, you're doing a good job. You're like the weatherman. You see that? On the left are going to be manufacturers. Dad, stop. On the left are going to be manufacturers.
Yes.
We're going to look at their May 2023 average transaction price, April 2023 average transaction price, and year over year compared to May 2022 average transaction price. The column right above our heads, literally,
Yes.
I'm pointing right there, right? It
Yes.
says 8.7.
Yes.
That is Ford Motor Company's year over year increase in average transaction price. The one above them, the 22.8% increase at Daimler, and the third company that I called out, that if I scroll down just a little bit, no, it's not Tata Motors at 18.8% year over year increase. It is Toyota. Their average transaction price, Dad, up 10.9, called 11%.
Wow.
You and I have been talking about, we've been talking about it for months, if probably years at this point. The chasm, those who can afford to buy vehicles and those who cannot, and the strategic business decisions these
Yes.
OEMs are making to decide, oh, we're going to go up market or oh, we're going to go down market. Proof right there. Ford, Toyota, and Mercedes-Benz standing out amongst their peers. They are determined to make their vehicles unaffordable. Toyota being up 11% is bonkers, Dad.
Just crazy. It's certain manufacturers are seeding, and that's with not SEED, but CEDING, seeding portions of the market that they are no longer interested in serving.
Yep.
Okay. And that would be the lower price point market of that they're no longer interested in serving, because they need to make as much as they possibly can off of their internal combustion engines to underwrite their foray into EVs, since EVs don't seem to be profitable for any company other than one, Tesla.
Which is interesting, because we're going to look at more data from Kelley Blue Book, and it shows how one of the few segments of vehicles that are decreasing in price year over year are EVs. So
and not by a little, but by a lot.
By a lot.
Okay. But the point is that there ain't no money in selling inexpensive vehicles to the mass market anymore for these manufacturers to underwrite their growing EV business, because they all admit that they don't make any real margin on their EVs.
Ford has come out and said that they lose, what is it, like $4,500 per EV sold?
Like something like that. Yeah. And so it's happening. And, they're only going to sell X number of cars. Well, for them to be able to underwrite EVs, that X number has to be their most expensive, highest profit margin vehicles, as opposed to their lowest profit margin vehicles. And so that's why you see them giving up in that sphere.
I agree with Aaron here. CEOs need to tell their shareholders to STFU and let them handle business. There's a balancing act here, because what happens is that consumers continue to buy these vehicles at these crazy prices. I mean, so like if you are the CEO, if you're leading one of these companies, your shareholders are telling you, yeah, go make us as much profit as possible. Screw the long term. What are we winning today? And then you keep raising the prices, and what do the consumers do? They keep buying them. So there is an onus here on the consumer, but some of the OEMs are really taking this strategy to further extremes than others. For example, here I'll scroll back up on the page. Let's look at everyone. Let's break everyone down.
Okay.
Here. BMW.
Yes.
only up 7.3% year over year.
Yes.
We said Daimler, which is Mercedes-Benz, up 22. Let that sink in. The average Mercedes-Benz or Daimler product, excuse me, cost $67,273 in May of last year.
And now?
$82,585.
Yeah. Yeah, they're,
That's a different stratosphere.
It's
That's a
the
different
best or
stratosphere,
nothing.
man. That's wild.
Yes, yes, absolutely it is.
Your average Ford is up $4,500 year over year. Your GM products are only up $1,400. So you can't really blame them as much as you do Ford here.
Mm-hmm.
Honda is only up 1.5%, about $600.
Yes.
Hyundai's up 1.6%. Nothing too material there.
$500.
Mazda's up 0.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Nissan, Mitsubishi, 1.9%. Stellantis up 3.6%. Subaru down 1.5%. Let's have that be the good news of today's show.
Or the other one.
Tesla down 13.6%.
Yes, which is why the average transaction price for EVs has gone down $9,000 from a year ago. $9,000. So they will rapidly become, on an average, less expensive to buy than a comparable ICE vehicle. And when that happens, excuse me, that's when the great migration really picks up speed, because people are going to look at it and go, well, for the same price, I can get an electric vehicle. I can cut my maintenance by 60, 70, 80%.
Yeah.
I can cut my fuel costs by 60, 70, 80%. Why would I buy the ICE vehicle?
I mean, that's certainly what it appears to be happening. Let's keep breaking down some of the additional make stats, and not just the manufacturers, but now the makes.
Yes.
Acura down 5.6% year over year. Alfa Romeo up 2.1%. That one's kind of a head scratcher as far as I'm concerned. Audi up 1.6. We talked about BMW 8.7. Buick average transaction prices year over year down 2.5%. Cadillac up 1.2. Chevrolet up 2.1. Chrysler down 1.2. Makes sense. Dodge being up 4% and Fiat being up 7.3% make absolutely no sense.
Who's buying a Fiat? Who's even selling a Fiat?
Surely.
Yeah.
Genesis price is up 8.2%. That's not immaterial.
Yeah.
GMC up 7.4%. Wow.
Yeah.
There we go. We said Honda before. Hyundai, Infiniti up 2.2. Look at Jaguar down.
Yeah.
Down 10.3%.
And still nobody buys them.
Jeep up 2.6. Kia up 2.7. Look at Land Rover prices, folks. Does this not continue to point the flashlight, put all of the light onto the haves and have-nots within the auto industry? The average Land Rover price in May of last year, $88,674, has skyrocketed to $108,000, up 21.5%.
Meant for the rich. That's all it is. It's the SUV for the rich.
And we're here in Ventnor City, New Jersey.
Yeah.
You go a little bit further up to Margate. You go a little bit further up to Longport.
And that's all you see.
What do you see?
Well,
Defenders everywhere.
Yeah. Land Rovers of all types.
Not here in Ventnor.
Not in Ventnor. you see Rolls Royce, Bentley.
So those prices are going up. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Because then I scroll down just a little bit more and you see the Mercedes-Benz also up 22.8%.
Yeah.
Those brands are being supported by those who have, while at the same time, some of the brands that we would like to rely on.
Scroll back up for 1 second. Yeah, scroll back. Look at Lexus. An average transaction price of $57,000.
Is that even a luxury brand anymore?
It is.
On price point.
And then look one spot below it.
Lincoln.
At $10,000 more average. Why would you ever buy the Lincoln over the Lexus? I mean, why would you? I just don't get it.
Mitsubishi price is up 11.2%.
Yes. Well, they're determined to go a tad bit more upscale.
Yeah.
And they're doing it.
I really am blown away that Subaru is down 1.5%. I should not gloss over the fact that Ram is up 7.5%. Porsche, Dad, is actually down 3.5%, and Nissan is the same
Yeah.
year over year. So what do you read? Oh, Volvo is also down 6.7%.
Yes.
And Volkswagen's up 2.1. So what do you read into out of this? Is this showing you that divergence of strategy? Do you think that some of those brands and names that we're familiar with are going to end up capturing more market share? Like Nissan, for example, they haven't increased their prices year over year, but Toyota's up 10%. Subaru down 1.5%. Toyota's up 10%. We've done videos talking about how there is an opportunity here for some of those brands to steal market share. Do you think that's what's happening?
Well, I think some of the brands are. I mean, you look at the Mazda for sure has stolen some market share. Nissan's market share is probably up slightly because their sales are up slightly.
Yep.
So whatever decline in sales that Toyota has had, and they have, it gives the other Asian brands, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Honda, Subaru, the opportunity to make inroads and gain a little bit of market share of their own. It's still, when you look at the numbers are staggeringly in favor of average transaction prices continuing to stay sky high for the foreseeable future. And
forever.
Well, and the foreseeable future is until EVs, which are the only group that has seen a significant decline in average transaction prices, until EVs become more mainstream. And, when you look at those numbers, that day shouldn't be all that far off. Once people can go, okay, $50,000, I can get the electric vehicle. $55,000, I can get a comparable gas vehicle. I'll take the electric.
I don't know how much of it is powertrain related, that as much as it is just the pricing.
It's price.
Yeah, the pricing pushing people.
It's price. That's what's going to drive it. But when certain EVs, and when I say certain EVs,
you're starting to act like this is the EV show that you do.
Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe they'll migrate over here. But the EVs that I'm talking about are Tesla, because nobody else seems to know how to make them and still make money. Ford can't, GM can't. We know Lucid can't.
We know Toyota can't.
We know. So really.
So do you think that those manufacturers are making a mistake? Because that's what I went with for the title of today's show. I said Ford, Toyota, and Mercedes-Benz are making a huge mistake. I could have put Land Rover in there, but they're so niche. I mean, they're everywhere, but still. I mean, those three brands in particular, Dad, are obviously investing in upmarket, more expensive vehicles. You can toss GM in there a little bit as well, because they've come out this year and stopped production of some of their plants because they want to restrict inventory. Do you think that they are ultimately, at the end of the day, going to 10, 20, 30 years from now lose market share because they've priced so many people out of the market, and that these other competitors, whether it be ICE or EV, because the other competitors are Nissan or Kia or Mitsubishi even, and we're not talking about their EVs all the time either. Are they going to come in and swoop in and save the day, which was the strategy Toyota used in the 1950s?
Well, you see 60s. Some manufacturers trying to still produce vehicles for the rest of us. But every one of them has also said, we're trying to go a tad bit more upscale.
Mazda's CEO recently came out and said that. Yeah.
So, what's average going to be? Average is, in the future, average will not be for average people. Average vehicles will be for the above average people, money wise.
Ford recently came out with, we don't have it queued up for today's show, but a new leasing program for gig economy workers. It's like 1 to 4 month EV leases. And the more I look at average transaction prices, which we have one more piece of data we're going to look at here in a second, paired with some of the initiatives around leasing, which are not leases, they're just rentals.
Yes.
The idea of vehicle ownership is just evaporating. I really think it is. Like, a whole subset of humanity is not going to own. They're just going to rent cars.
There will be the well-heeled who will own cars, and then there will be the rest of us
that have an app on our phone
that will, use Lyft or Uber or some other mode of transportation to get us from point A to point B, but it won't be our vehicle that we're using.
Yeah.
It'll be somebody else's vehicle.
Strange world.
That's the future.
All right. So all the while, we're talking
Yes.
about average transaction prices broken down by manufacturer. That data from Kelley Blue Book shows that the
Yes.
average transaction price for a new car actually went up in May
Yes.
by 0.5%.
Yes.
So obviously some of those, like Ford being up 8.9% year over year or 3% month over month, are standouts. You can see that the average transaction price for a new car, $48,528. Now the thing is,
Yes.
come down here just a little bit. Average prices for non-luxury vehicles rise slightly in May. Average prices for luxury vehicles rise May, but remain below 65,000. Yeah.
Read this line right here.
All right. Here we
Because
go.
there are a couple brands in here, at least one brand in here, that I was surprised to see grouped as several non-luxury brands, including Mazda, Alfa Romeo, Acura, which I know they think of themselves as near luxury, Infiniti, and they're thinking of themselves as near luxury these days, and Cadillac.
Aren't 3 of those luxury? 4 of those. Isn't Alfa also considered a luxury brand?
But Cadillac has always positioned itself as a luxury brand. I'm not sure when it became a non-luxury brand.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked to see Cadillac listed in that group. It just...
The average price paid for a non-luxury vehicle, which now potentially includes Alfa Romeos, Acuras, Infinitis, and Cadillac,
yes,
makes no sense, was nearly $45,000.
Yeah.
However, the average transaction price was actually $402 below MSRP. So we are seeing deals below MSRP,
Yes.
but we did see a small increase, in average transaction prices for new non-luxury vehicles. And we had, Dad, on the luxury side, a $239 increase. So pretty much luxury vehicles stayed flat.
The big headline is, well, it remains below $65,000 as an average transaction price.
I do want to scroll back up for just a second. Ford and Kia showed the most price strength in the non-luxury market, transacting at more than 3% over sticker price in May. I don't understand. We're going to go out this weekend. We'll go to some Ford and Kia dealerships. I don't understand, because they've got inventory starting to build back up, especially on Ford lots.
Yes.
Why are people transacting above MSRP still?
Because the dealer's asking for it and the customers are foolish enough to agree to it. It's just that. So I mean, there's no other way to explain it, and we could do a video every day saying additional dealer markups and paying over MSRP is an ask from the dealer. It's not mandated. It's not mandatory. You can negotiate that. You don't have to pay it. You should walk out rather than pay it. We could do that video every day, but it won't be seen by enough people to matter. There are people out there that they just figure, well, they're asking for it, I got to pay it. No, you don't. But they figure they do, and they do. And there's not a Ford out there at the moment that I can think of that should be transacting at over MSRP. Just shouldn't be.
We're going to go to an early but relevant.
Yeah, really. You got to be kidding me.
All right, so I put this up on Twitter the other day because it was a comment that came through on our video.
Yes.
We did a video on the out-the-door price and how you need to negotiate the out-the-door price. I put this on Twitter just the other day, 2 days ago. Does Legacy Auto realize that their bad dealers are costing them market share? So we're talking about vehicles transacting above MSRP because dealers are asking for it and consumers don't know any better. This is from Corey. This comment was left on our video. After watching these videos for months to be ready to buy a car, I gave up and just bought a Tesla. The Tesla process is superior in every way. It was worth the extra money just to not have to deal with the dealer. And then I put another example below that $7,000 discount and then $5,000 in accessories. This was Instagram DM to me, Dad.
Yes.
From someone saying, can I negotiate the accessories?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
And look at this, folks. Retail price, $56,170. Who knows what that actually is? Sales price, $49,172. Okay, so there's a $7,000 discount from what to what we don't know.
Yes.
And then there's $5,000, $4,896 in accessories, fees. Somehow my price gets back up to $60,000, and then this stuff. And I'm like, Dad, you look at this paired with what you were just saying. Consumers go into a Ford dealership and they just don't know what they don't know.
Yes.
They're losing market share, not only because they're going up market, but because they're incumbent and beholden to their dealers.
Well, and the dealers are free to sell at whatever the market will bear. And the manufacturers can't do anything about that. So, having said that, that means it falls on us, folks, to say no. No, I just won't pay for that. No, I didn't ask for $4,900 worth of accessories. So no. And if enough people say no and walk the hell out, then the dealers will have to do something about it. Like, stop asking. Stop trying to require it.
Did you see the thing that I posted on the community forum, Pops?
Which thing?
All right, I'll pull it up on the screen because this is something that I think we could do to potentially fight back against this. I posted this over on the community.
That thing.
Yeah, I posted this over on the community forum. Do you think this is a good idea? Fight back against bait and switch advertising from car dealers. We had someone in our community, Ron, who had a very recent similar experience where it's like he voted with his wallet. He left the dealership. So we recently launched this thing on our car search where you can tell us if data is incorrect.
Yes.
And hundreds of people, thank you, have submitted things, and we're updating the database. What if we did the same thing and you could flag a dealer for hidden fees or pricing above MSRP? And so crowdsourcing this information, kind of like what we've done in the past, but doing it again here. And then on the car search.
Yes, it shows up.
It shows up.
That would be great.
I think it's a bit of a no-brainer because we need to police these things. We need to be able to identify those who we shouldn't be doing business with and those that we should be.
Yeah.
Because there's so many that are doing terrible stuff out there.
Well, yeah. And this information could come to us from
the community.
From the community, the people.
We'd add a little button on every listing.
Yes.
That says, tell us about this dealer. And you can tell us that they're trusted. Like, hey, they're really good. Like Earl Stewart Toyota. Or they charged me fees that I wasn't expecting, or add-ons, or their price is MSRP on their website, but they charged me $3,000 over MSRP. Like, and then it just shows up. Yeah. I mean, obviously we would vet everything, but still.
Well, you'd have to.
Yeah, because there'd be. We had dealers posting junk on the community forum over the weekend, like, we are Lexus of blah, blah, blah. Come to Lexus of blah, blah, blah and get great. So it's like, guys, that's not going to fly here. Like, you can't just self-promote yourself. So yeah, obviously
that's why it's called self-promotion. Yes.
Yeah, we'd obviously vet it.
Yeah, well, I would hope so. I think it would be a great idea. And I think it would be a way to hold dealerships accountable in real time. Okay, and that the information would be coming from our community, and our community members could upload screenshots or whatever it is, so that we can help to verify the information.
So that we can do what the FTC says to do, but
and we could do something different on our listings than any other listing source.
Yeah,
where we could share some insights as to how that dealer actually conducts themselves. So I think it would be invaluable information. We need to make it happen.
Yeah.
I could you go back to your Twitter account?
Okay.
I saw something there.
Give me a second.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you all the time you need. Our folks here, they're patient with you.
What do you want on my Twitter account?
And we'll go back to it.
All right, I'm here.
Scroll up. Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Andrew and Vince. Andrew and I finished the race together, and even with all my gear on, when we got to talking, he watches the CarEdge channel. And Vince Andrew actually recently leased a Jeep 4XE or 4xe. Got a great deal on it. And Vince came over afterwards while I was laying in that position after the Ironman.
Yes.
And said, hey, we recently got a car. We recently bought I think he bought a Honda. And said that he watched our video. So shout out to them. So
that's what you looked like afterwards? You got your medal and then you just like collapsed?
Correct.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Laura had to help me down to the ground because I didn't want to cramp my abs.
Oh, I I thought she had to hold the metal up so that
That too. I was
that-
not holding the.
yeah, so that it wouldn't hit you anywhere and hurt you.
Oh, yeah, I was in
Yeah.
a lot of pain yesterday.
So what not that anybody cares, but what exactly was it like?
It was beautiful in the morning. Yeah. Okay. So there's normal show's over. We'll do a couple minutes of personal time and then we'll call it a day. It was really beautiful in the morning.
Yeah.
So for those of you who've never done triathlon, you have to like set your.
Wait, here, let me help you with that. For those of you who haven't done it, that would be probably 99.5% of the population. Yes.
So you like set up there's a transition area where you change out of all your clothes during the different parts of the race.
Yes.
Because you swim in one thing and then bike in another thing. And anyway, so you start in the transition area.
Yes.
Woke up a little bit before 4 a.m., got to the site at 5:30, got the bike all prepped. So that was like a little anxious. I was really nervous.
Yeah.
And then you wait to go for the swim.
Yes.
We got lined up at 6:30. I didn't get into the water until 7:20.
Wow.
So a lot of time just like holding a swim cap over my head.
Sounds like great fun.
That was not that fun because
Yeah.
you're also nervous and anxious, and then the swim was beautiful. Dad, I watched the sunrise. Well, when I was breathing, I watched the sunrise. But my head was in the water. My head was in the water.
Yeah.
And then the bike ride was beautiful. It was through a nature preserve on the eastern shore of Maryland. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the run was really, really, really terrible. Yeah, it was 92 degrees, maybe 91, 92. My bike computer said 91 degrees. So it was like hot and sunny.
Yeah.
And really not fun.
Yeah.
And then it was great.
Yeah. And
then I ate a bunch of food last night.
And so it was 70.3 miles total.
Yep. And people do double that. That's a full Ironman. A full Ironman is double that. People swim 2.4 miles, bike 112, and run a marathon. That would take me 16 hours, I think. And
probably more.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And so you accomplished all this yesterday in a time of, I think it was 7 hours and 4 minutes and some seconds.
Yeah, my goal was under 6 hours.
Yes.
And I ended up doing it in 7 hours and 4 minutes. So I was on pace until the run. Yeah. The run was a walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was hard to do.
It was really hard to do.
When you got off the bike after a 56-mile run, do your legs even work?
Yeah, no, legs are fine.
Yeah.
I have an ankle injury. And so that's what kind of held me back. That and the cramping in my calves.
Yeah.
Also held me back.
Anything else?
Well, also the pain in my right knee.
Anything else?
Those were the 4 things.
Okay. And would you do it again?
Yesterday I said absolutely no. Today I think I would.
No, yesterday you phrased it to me like this. He says it's kind of like skydiving. You do it once, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
today I'm like, you know what? I could do it again. I could do it today if you're like, hey, you have to go do this today, like, or I'm gonna take your dad and make him buy a F-150. I would go do it.
I prefer you let me buy the F-150, honestly. It won't hurt your knee or your ankle nearly as much.
Oh, you want to get a kick out of something here? I'll show you something.
Yes.
And then we'll call it a show. Oh, I got locked in really quick.
Well, you can do that. You have the skills.
I have the skills. Give me a second. What'd you do yesterday while I was working out?
I did 3 loads of laundry.
3 loads of laundry.
I changed the sheets on my bed.
Here we go.
I cleaned my bathroom.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So here you go, Dad. This was what I did yesterday. So this is on Strava. For any of you that are on Strava, I'm there. Would be thrilled to connect with you. So where was it? Yeah, this was the swim.
Yeah. Wow.
43 minutes in the water.
Sounds like great fun.
Generally straight lines. Look at that. Generally straight lines.
Yeah.
Transition.
Yeah.
And then the 55 miles on the bike, 56 miles on the bike.
Yeah.
That was really, really quite fun.
Yeah.
Transition and then a walk. The bike, though, I was super proud of this. I'm not a great cyclist. I'm getting better. And for those of you who are into this stuff, for me, does it say it on here? It should say it somewhere. 155 watts is what I maintained for 3 hours.
Wow.
That's a lot for me. For me, that's a lot.
Wow. Your average speed was 18.5 miles per hour.
Yeah,
Wow.
for 3 hours.
Yeah. And your max was 24.4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
Wow.
I wish you had been there, but next time.
Well, why? What the
And
hell
look
am I
how-
going to do for 7 hours?
Look
I
where
mean,
we
I mean,
were.
you know, I get to go, yeah, cheer you on, go swim, honey. And then what? We got to wait around for 7 hours?
Yeah, that's what Laura did. Yeah, so
Yeah.
like this is where we were. So you're like riding through this huge nature preserve.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, Dad.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there was
Yeah,
some,
so what did Laura do for 7 hours?
you'd have to ask her.
Okay. Well, when I see her, I will.
Yeah, this section when you're on the river. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
We're totally we've totally devolved today's show. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the kind words. Really, really, really appreciate it. Okay, we'll be back.
I believe tomorrow.
We should have a used car market update tomorrow.
We should.
So
Yes.
stay tuned
because
for
there was,
that.
I don't think there was a holiday involved in this week merely because you were in the Ironman.
No, I
competition.
don't think so.
So we should have a black book data tomorrow, and we will be back here at midnight in Manila time. It would be 6 a.m. in Honolulu, 8 a.m. in Anchorage, 9 a.m. for all our friends in California.
You could have gotten quite the tan yesterday, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably what you would have done. You would have gotten good color.
I would have gotten burnt.
Aren't
And
you proud I didn't get burnt?
No, your face is right.
No, my face is red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that would be noon Eastern tomorrow, and then after tomorrow's show, I'll be on our Electric Unplugged show with Justice. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody back here twice tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm going to the Acme to pick up some goods.
Have a great Monday, everyone. See you guys soon.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here.